Welcome back to the channel, guys. My name's Justin. Today we're going to be talking about my strategies to take care of those fall weeds and how long you should wait after seeding to start applying herbicides to your lawn. Now, if you've been following my channel, you know that I have quite a bit of weed problems in my lawn, and I've been waiting to take care of them till after my seed got established. Now, this is a tip that I definitely recommend you guys follow. So it's been 4 weeks since I overseeded. I got some nice results. It's nice and established. I'll throw up some pictures right here. But I have some serious problems with crabgrass, creeping Charlie, and clover. I also have some knotgrass and knotweed and silkgrass in my lawn, which I'm going to be trying to take care of today. I definitely recommend waiting that 4 weeks after you seed. That's a general rule. That'll give you plenty of time for even your slower grasses to start growing in, like our Kentucky bluegrass, which can take up to 3 weeks to start germinating. If you have perennial ryegrass, it normally takes about 3 days. If you have turf type tall fescue, it could take 7 to 10 days to see some germination, but you also want it to have a little bit of time to get established before you start applying weed control to those grasses. So weed control is a herbicide. It's a selective herbicide and it kills weeds, but it can damage grass if applied too heavily or too early after seeding. Now, Tenacity is the only product that you can apply during and after overseeding. The active ingredient's actually called mesotrione, and it will not affect your seed. So that's the only weed control I'd recommend you use during and after overseeding. Now, once your seed is established, you can actually use a product like this. This is Spectricide. A lot of different companies make a product like this. It has a whole bunch of different chemicals in it. It has 2,4-D, quinclorac, dicamba, and sulfentrazone. So quinclorac is a crabgrass controller. It'll kill crabgrass primarily. I forget which one of these, but one of them is a nut sedge controller, and the others are really good for dandelions and clovers, like those broadleaf weeds, and that'll be a good product for you to get since it has multiple modes of action in it to kill weeds in your lawn. Now, this specific weed control calls for 6.5 ounces per 1,000 square foot, and that's how you're gonna measure these weed controls out. The Tenacity is actually this is a concentrate. This is a professional weed control. You get this on Amazon. I think I got this on Amazon. The bottles are a little expensive, but they go really far. Like, the application rate for this is 1/2 teaspoon per 1,000 square foot. I've had this bottle for quite some time. I still have some left. Now, Tenacity is great for killing the majority of weeds that you're gonna find in your lawn in your cool season grasses. And by the way, these recommendations are for cool season grasses. This is not for warm season grass. Tenacity should not be applied on any lawn that has Bermuda as the turf grass. So you can actually mix these two products together. So I'm going to be mixing the Tenacity with the Spectricide in one application. I'm gonna be spot spraying. I'm not gonna blanket spray. You should never blanket spray unless you absolutely have to. There are occasions where you should blanket spray if your lawn is very infested with weeds, or if you are applying Tenacity before a seed, you can blanket spray this as a pre-emergent, which it will be very effective against weeds. It'll kill them as they come up and not your grass seed. Now, the Spectricide is actually a post-emergent weed control, and it'll be really good for situations where you already have weeds in your lawn and you're trying to kill them on the spot. It won't prevent any new weeds from popping up, however. Now, again, I don't know if I've mentioned this already, but you definitely want to wait 4 weeks after seeding before applying any type of post-emergent herbicide or weed control to your lawn. That you don't want to affect your grass seed. If there's weeds in there while your new grass seed is growing, just let them go. It's what I did. I do have some big areas of clover and creeping Charlie that I'm trying to get rid of. And if you don't want to apply weed control during the fall time, you don't have to. There's a lot of weeds that come up during that fall time that a lot of people want to tackle, but winter will kill off most of those weeds so that you can tackle them next spring. And in the springtime is when you actually want to apply a pre-emergent herbicide like dithiopyr or prodiamine. So those herbicides will actually sit in the soil and kill weeds as they come up. It'll prevent crabgrass and a lot of other weeds from actually germinating or kill them as they're germinating to prevent those a lot of those weeds from coming up. Now, probably won't get perfect coverage, but that's a whole nother video about pre-emergent. I'll probably do that next coming spring so that you guys know how to apply that to a lawn. But one thing I wanted to say, so whenever you're spot spraying, if you've never spot sprayed before, if you never applied a weed control, you can get this at Home Depot, a product like this. And what you can do is just go up to your big box store and pick up something like this. These are cheaper. It's just a hand pump sprayer. You just mix your weed control with water in one of these. So how spot spraying works is normally you walk up the perimeter of your lawn, and then just like if you were striping your lawn, you're gonna, after you do the perimeter, you're gonna wanna walk in a pattern back and forth so that you can spray weeds and not overspray them. So what a lot of people do to prevent this is they'll get this market blue stuff, and it'll actually dye the area that you sprayed blue, because a lot of herbicides, they come out clear, so you won't be able to really see where you're spraying. If you want to prevent yourself from overspraying areas so you don't damage your lawn, apply too much product, you can get this market blue stuff. Now, this stuff is really messy, so a lot of people, they'll try this market blue and then they'll make a giant mess and then they'll be done. I don't use market blue. What I end up using is humic acid. So humic acid is a product that you can apply and it helps your soil out. Another awesome thing about humic acid is it comes out dark brown to black color, and it'll help you see where you've applied. So this will be a lot less messy than the market blue stuff. This stuff, you'll find it everywhere. It really stains. I mean, it is water soluble, so you can get it out, but this stuff is a lot easier to clean up than the market blue. So I definitely recommend getting some humic acid and adding it to your weed control, because I mean, you really can't apply too much humic acid. I actually apply this to my lawn once a month, but that's a whole nother video, and it actually helps your soil. The market blue stuff just really makes a mess. So it started to rain on me, so I'm not gonna be able to do my weed control application today. That's just another tip that I can throw at you guys. So you really don't want to apply weed control whenever it's raining. A lot of those weed controls, the action happens, it's absorbed foliarly. The rain will actually wash it off the leaf, which will make it less effective. A lot of your pre-emergent herbicides, you want to water it in, so you could get away with putting it in before or after a rain, preferably before, so you can water that in. But your post-emergent herbicides, you want it to sit on the leaf blades of the weeds that you're trying to get rid of. So like that spectricide especially, you want that to be sitting on the leaf. Now, one thing I did want to show you guys real quick is how tall my grass is in my backyard. I don't take it as good care of it as I do my front lawn, just because that's where everyone sees, so I like to take care of it a little more. I do work and go to school full time, so I don't have time to, you know, do everything I should be regarding lawn care. But my backyard grass is getting like probably 5 to 6 inches long, maybe a little taller. So I should be mowing it today, but I can't because it's raining. You shouldn't mow when it's rain, but that's one of those things you got to give and take. So if it's raining and your grass is getting super tall, you might have to just bite the bullet and mow it. You definitely don't want to break that 1/3 rule where you're cutting off more than 1/3 of the grass blade's total length. So I'll show you some video here of how tall my grass is. So guys, since it decided to start raining today and I'm not gonna be able to physically show you how I apply weed control, I just wanted to show you how to mix it up real quick. So if you're spot spraying, I normally mix about 1-2 gallons. So what I'll normally do is I'll take my jug. They make 1 gallon versions of this too. This is a 2 gallon. These aren't too terribly expensive if you wanna pick these up. But what I do, fill this up halfway, so I'll take it to 1 gallon, and then I'll take one of these. It's just a measuring cup. You can get these anywhere, but just make sure it has ounces on it. Most products will go by ounces. So if I'm applying the Spectracide, 6.5 ounces per 1,000 square foot, and I'm making a 2-gallon mixture, then I'll measure out 13 ounces on my measuring cup. I'll pour that into the half mixed tank, and then I'll fill it the rest of the way up. You can also mix in a surfactant with that, which is basically kind of like a soap. It breaks the surface tension of the water so that the product will lay more evenly and more of a fine mist onto the leaf blade. And that will help your weed control activate as well. And then obviously if you're using the Tenacity, they actually come with one of these little syringes, and I'll actually tell you here how many teaspoons of Tenacity you're putting with the gallons of water. So you'll just syringe up half of a teaspoon, or 1 teaspoon if you're doing 2 gallons, and put that into your tank and mix that up. Now, one additional tip that I could give you guys for weed control is in your landscapes, your hardscapes, and your driveway and concrete, I normally use this Roundup Extended Control. You could get this at your local Home Depot or big box store. It's nice because it comes with this little sprayer here, little battery powered sprayer, and you can use that on your driveway and other hardscapes, landscapes where you don't want anything to grow. So that herbicide Roundup is going to actually kill everything. So it'll kill grass, it'll kill weeds, any plant, it'll actually kill. So I use that for my I have cracks in my driveway where weeds like to pop up, grass likes to pop up, or I have some rock landscapes in my yard that I don't want anything to grow, so I'll use that to spray and it'll kill everything. Now I actually have a border with my lawn where the kind of nature begins, so I actually use the Roundup to make this border here, which prevents anything from growing over, try to prevent the weeds from coming into my lawn. Now this by all means is no all extensive list of how to apply weed control and what products you should use. There's, a million different products out there you could use depending on your grass type, where you live, and the different conditions. This is just a strategy that I use. Now, the grass type that I have is a mixture of Kentucky bluegrass, perennial rye, and I have some turf type tall fescue as well, so kind of a mixture of all the cool season grasses. So I figured I'd just post this video. Maybe it can help someone out there that's just getting started in lawn care, doesn't know where to start. Just pick up one of these all-in-one products and get yourself a little sprayer. They also make ready-to-use versions where you just hook it up to your water hose and you go and spray. Those are really good options if you're just looking for something cheap and you don't want to get any equipment and you want to prevent some weeds. That's a really good option. So I'm sure people are going to be in the comments saying, oh, they use this or they use that. So it's not an all extensive list perfectly how to do weed control in your lawn. It's just a strategy that I use. So hopefully this video will help someone out there that doesn't know exactly where to get started. And then whenever you're applying these weed controls, don't get too heavy-handed, just a quick pass over with your sprayer is gonna do fine. A lot of these are very homeowner friendly, so the rates that they tell you to apply is not gonna hurt your lawn. So for this, the 6.5 ounces per 1,000 square foot, it's not gonna hurt your lawn at all. Even if you do end up getting a little heavy-handed and spraying heavy somewhere, it's probably not really gonna hurt your lawn. Now, if you go over it for quite a long time or make multiple passes over an area, it may stunt your grass a little bit, but it's not gonna kill it. And then if you don't want to do any weed control, you feel like it's too complicated, just don't. Just push your grass really hard, mow it often. Mowing will get rid of a lot of weeds too. Mowing every 3 to 4 days, at least once a week, will also help keep weeds down. Your grass will love that, it'll help it grow thick. And the thicker your grass is, the more competition it is for the weeds, and it'll be harder for those weeds to come through because your grass is so thick. So if you're pushing it with fertilizer and mowing often, you don't have to do any weed control. But I definitely recommend it, especially crabgrass. Crabgrass and clover, especially crabgrass, will really take over a lawn. I actually have a bucket, which I posted in a few videos before in one of my YouTube shorts too, that's growing in a pot out there, and that thing took over the whole pot this summer. It's really big. So that just goes to show you weed control is important, but they make these products so that they're very homeowner friendly. So you don't have to worry about hurting your lawn as long as you're following the directions on the label. Always read your labels, and you can't go wrong there. Now, if this video helped you in any way, go ahead and like that video down below. It's greatly appreciated. Subscribe to the channel too if you want to see more of this kind of content, what I have going on in my lawn and the strategies that I'm using for my cool season grass. And I really appreciate you guys watching. Thanks again, and I'll see you guys in the next video.